Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. Today's kind of a fun video. I wanted to say thank you because we've reached 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're actually a little bit past that now, but it happened as I was getting ready to deliver the baby, who you'll get to meet in this video. And it just was a little bit of a crazy time. So I just wanted to pop in today to say thanks because you guys are what makes this happen. Whenever you guys watch the videos and you say thanks by getting the supplies from us over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com, whenever you see a project you want to give a go, it's what makes Quilt Addicts Anonymous go. None of this would be possible without you. It's not just me. We've got a team behind the scenes. My husband works full-time with us, and we have another full-time employee and then a bunch of part-timers who help us out and help get stashed with Stephanie to you guys and all that goodness. So a big thanks to you guys, and hopefully we can keep it up and continue growing in 2020. To say thanks, with a sale, we are going to offer all of our Block of the Month books that we still have in print. It's 5 books for $25. These books typically retail for $29.99 each. So to get all 5 of them for $25 is a huge deal. These are all the books that we have done to date that we printed. And we are not doing one this year because we decided it's a ton of work to do one, and we knew with the baby coming that it would be really challenging. But if you're someone who likes to start a Block of the Month at the beginning of the year, then this is a great deal for you. We thought that we were sold out of the Burst books. That was one of our most popular ones that we did a couple years ago, but we found an extra box when we moved our shop. So if you missed out on getting a paper copy of Burst, we have a whole nother box, and the only way you can get it is if you go with the 5 for $25 deal. It's actually less expensive than buying the whole book, so why wouldn't you? I just want to quick go over all the Block of the Month books that you're going to get with this, and then we'll go into talking about some 2020 goals, and you can meet the baby. All right, so first up is Kaleidoscope. This is the one that we partnered with Northcott Fabrics for, and we use Stonehenge gradations for this. That is a basic that is still available. So if you want to get that fabric and make it as we made it, you're still able to do so. We no longer carry the fabric at Quilt Addicts Anonymous, but you can get the book and have some fun, or use your stash and have some fun with that. Next up is Starburst Galaxy. This one we did in batiks. It is really pretty and really fun, and you can check that out. It's king size as well as Kaleidoscope is king size as well. Burst is more of a lap to maybe a full bed size. That one is available in 2 colorways, and you get both of those in the one book. It is really a fun one. This is one of our most populars, and like I said, we thought we had sold out of the book completely, but we found one more box. So this deal is basically good until we run out of these books, because we can't do 5 for $5 when we're out of Burst books. So make sure you hop on over to shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com and take advantage of this while the supplies last. Dimensions, this one was also hugely popular. This one uses all ombre fabrics to create that look. So all those cool color changes you see, that's just one fabric per block, and that color change just happens naturally by cutting your fabric apart. And we've got video tutorials for every single block in this quilt, so you can definitely make that at home and get that figured out on your own there. We also again, this fabric is used as Kinkami Shades, which is still available from Clothworks. We don't carry it all still as a kit, but we will be getting a few more of it in a little bit later in the year, because we do have another quilt in the book that we're going to be doing a kit for. But you can definitely still get that fabric too and make it as you see it, or use any ombre of your choice. Lastly, we have Supernova. This was last year's Block of the Month. This one also comes in 2 colorways and uses Misty, also by Clothworks. And we have the majority of these fabrics still. So if you wanted to make it happen, we have the majority of what you need in order to make this quilt. And so that's it. There's 5 Block of the Month to keep you busy for a long time. If you already have some of these books, just get the 5 for $25 and share the duplicates with a friend. And that is a great way to have some fun and say thanks. We wanted to again say thank you to you for helping us get to this point of 50,000 subscribers. It's really a great milestone. I know that there are channels out there with way more than that, but for the quilting community, 50,000 is a pretty good accomplishment, and we're very excited, and we want to thank you for that with the 5 for $25 for the Block of the Month deal, and that's going to go through the weekend or until we run out of Burst books. So if we run out of Burst books before the end of the weekend, then it's, maybe we'll do 4 for $20 if we run out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see how crazy you guys go for this. All right, so I want to talk real quick about where we're taking the channel for 2020, so you guys can hopefully get excited about some of the stuff that we have planned for you. We're really excited about some of these goals that we have for you. We just relaunched the beginner quilting series that we did about 1.5 years ago. And we saw a lot of interest from you guys who really enjoyed and liked that. We had significantly fewer subscribers at that time. So a lot of you guys saw it for the first time. And it's always great to see messages from beginners and people who have been sewing for a long time who were able to take something away from that series. That's going to stay up forever and ever. And that coupon code is good as long as you've only used it the one time. And so you can check that out at any time and rewatch those videos as many times as you need to. Next up, we're going to be doing a series to a quilt along to go with the final quilt in my book, Simple Quilts for the Modern Home. This one is kind of going to be an in-depth look at diamonds and triangles for 60-degree rulers. And we're going to assemble that quilt step by step. We're also going to be partnering with Natalia Bonner, who did the quilting on the original quilt. That was the cover for the book. And she's going to requilt this one and do a video or two on her process for that. So that way you guys can really, truly recreate this quilt. It really is a stunner. Whenever we had it up in the shop, people just saw it and we're just like, oh my gosh, I love it. And we're redoing it in Allison Glass Sunprint 2020. The original was in a earlier version of Sunprint. She re-releases it every line. It's like a basics version of hers with those really bright saturated rainbows. So it's going to be fabulous and I'm very excited to see that come together. Also this summer, we're going to be doing sort of an intermediate quilting. It's going to be everything you need to know to sew triangles perfectly every time. So I know that we use a lot of triangles in our Stash with Stephanie videos and that we go over all the tips and tricks there. But this one is going to be dedicated videos to the different types of triangle units that you might encounter. And we're going to be making all those from squares. And we're also going to have cheat sheets. So that way, if you want to convert a pattern, you know how to do that according to the math. And so those are going to be easy to download. And then that will get you into the series and you'll be able to get the pattern that goes with it for free. It's actually a pattern we've had for a while and I actually designed it specifically to teach all of these different triangle units. So it's a really fun one. It uses a fat quarter bundle and we're going to be using some new fabric that is coming out later this year from QT to do that one. So that should be coming March or in May or June. One other really big thing that we are planning for this year is a beginner knitting series. You guys may know this if you follow me on Instagram, but I actually really enjoy knitting. I do it a lot in the evenings when I just don't have the energy to sit down and sew. When I was pregnant, my energy was just zapped. And now that I have a real little baby, I maybe have 15 minutes to just sit at the end of the night and wind down. And I like to do that with knitting because when you sew, you're up, down a lot. And at the end of the day, it's kind of nice to just sit and relax. And so I'm going to do a video showing you guys a lot of the stuff that I've been knitting coming up in the next couple of weeks. But I also wanted to make sure that if you have been dabbling with knitting or you're someone who does two different crafts, you sew and you knit, that you can have this as a reference guide, very similar to what we did with the beginner quilting series. So what we'll do is we'll go over the basics of everything you need to know to knit. So basically you're knitting your purl stitch, doing your gauge swatch, things like that. And then we're going to knit a sweater. And the sweater, we're going to do a baby size version, but there also are adult size versions as well. So if you've only knitted scarves or washcloths, basically square rectangle things, you're going to learn how to do increases and decreases and measure and get things to fit there correctly. And I am actually not going to be teaching any of that because I'm a fairly good intermediate knitter, but I still have to look up make one left and make one right to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. So my very good friend and very talented knitter and knitting instructor, Courtney Walters, was going to be leading that class. And that we're going to get working on here in about a month or so, once I've had a chance to sort of, get a schedule figured out with the new baby and all that. And then we will get going on that and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it because we're going to just take you through all those steps just like we did and really give you the confidence to try something more than just, your scarf. And even if all you do is use the increase section to do your first hat, that's cool too. But this will help you really, you know, try something new out. And we do have some yarn available over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. It's mostly some hand dyes. They're really lovely to work with, but I have been experimenting with some new ones that I have been thinking of bringing into the shop. And so we'll show you more of those and what you can maybe expect to come in 2020. Otherwise, we're still going to be bringing you our weekly or monthly videos with new free motion quilting ideas and bag tutorials and working through a book. But one really big thing, actually two really big things that are happening this year beyond that is I'm working on my second book now. It's going to be coming out this fall. And it's all going to be fat quarter. So a lot of those are going to be some of our patterns from Stash with Stephanie, along with some that are exclusive to the new book. So we'll have more details about that as we get a little closer to it. And I currently have in my house swatches for my first fabric collection. So we're in the narrowing down process of that right now. And I'll tell you more details about it as we get to it. But I've got a bunch that I have to go through and say, okay, these are the final ones that are going to be in the collection. And then that should also be coming out and debuting, I believe, in May Quilt Market. So we'll be able to tell you more about that then. But that's the cool things that we have coming up. New book on the horizon, my first fabric collection. It's a collaboration with a company that we have worked with before, so it will probably not be too surprising for you guys when you see it. But those are some of the really fun things that we have on the horizon, plus a couple more new sewing series as well, because you guys seem to enjoy that. We're going to bring back 12 Makes of Christmas because you guys have just had a good time with that, and hopefully do a little bit more early planning so we can have more new content for you as opposed to some of the recycled content that we did, although you guys definitely appreciated that as well. All right, so I'm gonna go grab Lily, who is my 9-day-old now, baby girl. She is our latest future quilter. We have a 5-year-old as well, Angela. And so if you don't see me posting as much online, it's because I literally have a full-time job feeding a child at the moment, and I'm trying to do a little bit here and there, but I'm mostly trying to rest and get used to being a mom of a little one who needs everything. So we're gonna go grab her, and then we'll be right back. All right, so this is Lily Jean Soebbing. She was born on January 28th, and it was a crazy delivery. I was induced at 12:01, basically, on my 39th week, because we wanted to not wait any longer to have her, and everything went great. And at one point I got to back labor and decided I wanted an epidural, and so they gave me one. I have scoliosis, which basically means my spine is in a curve shape instead of straight up and down. So it didn't take very well, and I was in, I could feel it very clearly in like one area of my abdomen. So by the time it came time to push, she was facing the wrong direction. I was exhausted from the pain and being up all night doing labor, and her heart rate dropped, and off we were whisked to an emergency C-section. I was put out for it, so it was just a little insane, but she is doing well now. We had a little adventure with jaundice. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that, but we are now at home. We are doing well and trying to get used to routine, and she's got the hiccups right now, but here's our little future quilter. So once again, thank you all. You guys helped make this possible. I started Quilt Addicts Anonymous. Well, I started as a blog forever ago, but I started to consider it as a potential job when I had my first daughter 5 years ago. I was working in advertising. It was just one of those jobs where no matter how much myself I gave, it never was going to be enough. And now that I was a mom, I knew that my daughter needed, you know, as much of me as I could give, and that the job needed to be second. And so I started thinking about how I could turn Quilt Addicts Anonymous into something that would replace my income. And I never thought that 5 years later we would be, you know, selling quilting fabrics and patterns around the world, and that we would not just replace my income, but my husband's, and be able to also have staff working for us, and that we would reach so many of you and help you in your quilting journey. So it has just really been truly amazing to watch it grow, and I'm excited to see what the next 5 years are going to bring as this little one grows up, and where we'll be in 5 years from now. But it's all thanks to you guys, and that's why we're doing that 5 for 25 with the block of the months, because the block of the months really are what turned Quilt Addicts Anonymous into just a blog that made enough to pay for the email marketing and the hosting into something that could actually replace my income. And so that's really near and dear and special to me, because those Block of the Months really changed my life and the lives of my family. And it is just fantastic. And we're grateful to you guys, because you guys look forward to the projects, and we love it when you say thanks by getting your supplies from us, because it helps make everything possible. It helps make these videos possible for you guys that we can do for free, and the series, and it helps make our lives better in terms of work-life balance, where we're able to both be present as parents and then also you know, be able to fully contribute and provide for our family and the families of our workers. So thank you very much. Go check out the 5 for $25 deal on all the Block of the Month subscriptions. Again, that's going to be good for the rest of the weekend or until we run out of burst books. And I think somebody is giving me the sign of I would like to eat. So I'm going to wrap this up. And until next time, happy quilting.